was gonna say, like, far as the going back to the situation with Indiana, like, do you really feel like being like as far as when you were in politics, like it really is like a Republican or Democrat thing to regulate or like have an opinion on cannabis? Because I'm pretty sure there are some people that are like true Republicans.
No, I don't think it's a totally partisan issue most places.
Okay.
I think in almost every state that passes it, it's because both parties agree to
Right.
pass it. I just think that the Indiana has been traditionally a very conservative place, and the conservatives have such a stranglehold that the more open-minded to it on the Republican side haven't been able to move the issue. It usually takes something like one of the decision makers,
Right.
the president of the Senate or the Speaker of the House. In states like that, it usually takes a personal issue.
Right.
Their sister got diagnosed with something and then found great relief from cannabis, and then all of a sudden they're a believer in the medical use of cannabis, right? And we haven't seen anything like that yet in Indiana. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, the Democrats are great for weed and the Republicans are terrible for weed, because I don't think that's the case.
Yeah. But like, do you really feel like that is something personal? Because I mean, I feel like I've never been a lawmaker, so that's why I'm asking you the question and frame it like this: like, why would a lawmaker look at it from a personal standpoint, where if it makes money and it can boost our state economy, why is that not a no-brainer versus a personal opinion?
Because people just they internalize things so much. So many people make their decisions based on their own personal viewpoint and history, right? And so a lot of these people, especially if they're my age, if they're in their 50s or their 60s as leaders in the government, they were raised at a time when Nancy Reagan had the ads on, just say, no, this is your brain on drugs, with the eggs in the frying pan, and have been in that one way of thinking for so long. And you know how so many of the anti-weed people stereotype people who use cannabis into one category, like we're all like Cheech and Chong, right? and so I think that's a big part of it.
Right.
You know, that stigma that we're not feeling, that stigma still exists. People are getting arrested today in Indiana for doing what we're doing right now, right?
Wow.
That's I will say that too about Michigan. One of the other things I really love about Michigan is, Michigan stopped arresting people for weed.
Yeah.
In all of 2022, I think there was less than 300 people arrested for weed in Michigan. Even though Illinois legalized weed, there was over 18,000 people in 2022 arrested for weed in Illinois.
Right.
Think about that. And that's because we allow for the home grow. And we do not, in Michigan, the police are no longer using the smell of cannabis to just fuck with young dudes.
Well, I can't say that
as much. Well, the numbers are showing not like
I can't say that because in Detroit, in the southeastern part of the state, this is definitely still a thing. This is definitely like, and they even limit what you can have. Like, you can only have like an ounce.
Would you say it's better than it was though?
Nah, because
really,
it's 50-50. I could play devil's advocate and kind of vouch for both, but I could say with the emergence of dispensaries, they're still profiling, they're still looking, and still trying to figure out what is the quantity of what people are getting. Because some people go to the dispensary, like, you know what, I'm only going to get a gummy. I'm only going to get a cart. I'm going to get rosin. Some people will be like, hey, I want an eighth. Some people go in there and say, I want to buy the whole store.
Yes, they do.
You got your different variety as a customer. So my experience is they still will, like, if they smell cannabis, they still will kind of mess with you and kind of gauge that to see how much cannabis do you have on person.
I'm not doubting that. I will say, though, that the numbers are showing that the reduction in the number of people being arrested in Michigan is super. I mean, way compared 2018 to 2022,
right?
The numbers are way down.
But I feel like those numbers will reflect the people who are growing in the legal amount of plants that you have.
Probably, and maybe they just arrest them for something else,
right?
With
addition to cannabis.
Right. They don't write up the cannabis because they write up something else.
Right, like somebody might have a firearm on them,
Yeah.
and then have cannabis, and they be like, well, can't have firearm and cannabis on you, so they X one out to
Right.
get the other, which I still think is not really fair. Like it should be some legality where they should up the limit of what you're allowed to have on person, because some people are like what I like to call Olympic smokers, chain smokers who can roll 20 blunts and it'll be an ounce and they can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I just feel like just on the legal side, like I feel like they should look at, obviously you got some people who, like I said, I could play devil's advocate. You got people who smoke and drive. You might be discombobulated. We don't want to like have cannabis that seem like how we look at drunk drivers. So I understand them preventing a law like that, but like if somebody got like an ounce and they smell like weed, but they're not actively smoking, I think they should just kind of like leave it alone to a certain.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think they should leave it alone.
I agree with you. I have been a weed smoker, like I said, for almost 40 years, right? And it's like I can't tell you how many times I saw the cops in my rearview mirrors, and it like ruins my day. And I'm not. I mean, obviously, if you're African American, you have a lot more intense than that.
Yeah.
And I'm totally. That's why every step we make to removing the stigma and bringing the cannabis out into the light and making it fully legal for everyone, everywhere, is so important.